God heals. How much longing, how much hope of the human heart resounds in the word healing. Healing is balm, comfort, and deliverance. It is peace where there is or was a disorder. The word healing means the process of healing, of becoming whole, not the condition of being healed. Which person does not need healing? Does not almost every one of us have a smaller or larger health disorder to deplore, from which we would like to be freed? The one whose heart can still feel alive also has an inkling that healing, becoming whole, and finally, being healed, are all related to a fundamental order of the inner person. Healing, in its most profound sense, concerns the areas of the soul which are the very origin of the human being, areas in which his true life rests. How can we open ourselves to the source of healing power? The central force in the inner being of a person is spirit. The spirit is the primordial power of all being. This divine all-spirit is the life in every form of life, also of matter. It breathes life into the human being's soul and into each cell of his body. Thus, spirit is the life force, the healing power. If we want to achieve healing through the spirit, we have to vivify healing and everything connected with becoming healed. That is, we have to imbue our thoughts and words with life. We can grow out of illness, worries, and blows of fate if we reflect about our origin, about the spirit, and by striving to attain a higher level of spiritual development through our efforts to actualize the spiritual divine laws. The highest and all-encompassing law is love. The nuclear age, the age of Aquarius, the effects of cosmic forces. The world is falling apart. Where is there a firm hold? We live in the nuclear age, and at the same time, from a spiritual viewpoint, in the Aquarian age, which guides us further and encourages us to lead a life of spiritual substance and of going within. More and more people no longer find any substance or hold in the material world. The eternal truth urges many. They begin to seek higher ideals and values. They strive to go within, to find wholeness and life there. The eternal spirit, the bringer of salvation and life, God, the love, does not forsake humankind. The greater the need, the more powerfully the Spirit works in this world. He teaches His children and gives them relief and healing. Nothing is lost. We reap what we sow. Nothing perishes. A person will reap what he sows unless he earnestly strives for self-examination and self-recognition. Through this, he immediately grasps his wrong actions. He grasps his violations of the divine law and readily takes steps to clear them up. This is then a lived life, that is, a life that is lived consciously. The one who knows that everything is energy and that no energy is lost also knows everything that I, as a person, send out in the form of feelings, thoughts, words, actions, good and bad deeds, in the form of fear, hatred, envy, enmity, and jealousy, will come back to me. It enters my soul and is reflected in my body according to the way I think and act. Activating the inner forces, effective prayer, stillness, and silence. Humankind is in the school of life. The earth is our place of learning and probation. We should recognize this opportunity and thus endeavor to purify our soul, the cosmic good, by orienting ourselves to the true goal of life already as a human being, and by activating and increasing the flow of the inner forces, the divine powers, which are also the forces of healing. We have to work on ourselves so that we are newly born in the Spirit, indeed, to become whole again, thus attaining the healing from the Spirit. We have to keep the laws of life, and then we will awaken the source in us, which wants to fill every cell of our body. Positive thoughts bring soul and body into a higher field of vibration. The mastery of thoughts is the mastery of life. This means that to think right is to live right. The one who does not pay attention to his world of thoughts and does not gain mastery over himself will fall under the suggestive power of his surroundings, for thoughts and ideas always emerge under the influence of the atmosphere created by our fellow people. Nothing happens on its own. We have to make the effort and make of our life what is right. We have to reshape our life so that it becomes rich in wisdom and strength. This means conscious living. The high energies will then transform the base, what mostly still unnoticed clings to us, and we will live a fulfilled life. We will live through each day, each hour, and each minute consciously and experience this as a delight, because we thereby accumulate positive energies. These make our life rich and willed by God. Our positive thoughts open the source of strength in us. All that.
Our positive thoughts open the source of strength in us. All that is good, pure, and noble, all the positive energies come from the depths of our soul, from the incorruptible core of being, from God. If we live with the divine, if we live in harmony with all energies, then our creative power is maintained. Indeed, it even grows stronger. But if we break contact by thinking and reacting in a human way, by sowing hatred, envy, and discord, by nursing jealous thoughts, we lose both spiritual as well as physical energy. An electrical appliance runs as long as it is connected to an electric circuit. If the circuit is broken, it stands still. In a human being, something similar takes place. If we constantly act against the universal laws, against the power of life, by not consciously placing our life under the care of the Spirit, and by not living in a disciplined way, the spiritual energies in the soul and in the physical body diminish. Since the energies withdraw, the organs weaken and, as a result, become prone to illness. This means that the person becomes poor in energy and his vibration decreases. If we want to become healthy and age the healing of our body through the Spirit, then we must acknowledge these laws of life. The negative, transformed down in energies, have a disturbing effect on soul and body. The positive forces, the pure powers of God, strengthen soul and body and stimulate health, so that healing can take place from within to without through the power of God in us. This means that we must first open ourselves to the positive forces by conquering our negative energies, our human feelings, thoughts, and words, and countering them with positive, affirmative, upbuilding thoughts, words, and actions. Then we become a vessel for the positive power, which is also the healing and life force. Therefore, before we awaken the inner powers, we must first eliminate our own negative thinking. Indeed, every thought that reminds us of an illness. This is necessary because thoughts cause illnesses again or retain the illness in the body. Thoughts are energies. The more often we think a thought, the greater the power of this thought or thought complex over us. Difficult as we may find it when we experience pain, we should recognize that through the power of positive thinking, we can neutralize much of the pain or prepare ourselves for the healing forces. Let us dare to regard our pain, our diseases, difficulties, or problems as the results of inherent spiritual laws. Let us dare to trust in the might and strength of the Spirit, for whom everything is possible. Then we will also be allowed to experience that the power of God is there, that it relieves and heals, that it supports and guides us of an illness. This is necessary because thoughts cause illnesses again or retain the illness in the body. Thoughts are energies. The more often we think a thought, the greater the power of this thought or thought complex over us. Difficult as we may find it, when we experience pain, we should recognize that through the power of positive thinking, we can neutralize much of the pain or prepare ourselves for the healing forces. Let us dare to regard our pain, our diseases, difficulties, or problems as the results of inherent spiritual laws. Let us dare to trust in the might and strength of the Spirit, for whom everything is possible. Then we will also be allowed to experience that the power of God is there, that it relieves and heals, that it supports and guides us. Christ, the inner physician and healer of our soul, the spiritual power, the healing power, which we ask for in this process, is the inner physician and healer. It is the power of Christ working in us. It can unfold in our body and dissolve the shadows present there. It can become effective only if we submit our healing thoughts entirely to the power of Christ. We should be filled with love for Him who knows only health, who is far from all illness and affliction. We should banish the concept of being ill from our thoughts and from our vocabulary. Then the spiritual healing waves will fulfill what we ask for. They bring our soul and organism into a higher vibration, in which the healing for our soul can then take place through the inner physician and healer. If it is good for our soul, then, via the soul, healing will also take place in our body. However, the inner physician and healer, Christ whom we address, is the healer of our soul. If the soul is whole, then it also transmits the healing, positive forces to our organism, relaxation and stillness instead of strain, nervousness and tension. In the stillness, strength and the healing of our soul and body is fulfilled. This is why we have to first become still so that the healing waves can become effective. If we must struggle for inner calmness, we should not pace up and down the room, nor clench our fists and grind our teeth. We should fill our mind with calming thoughts. The body reacts immediately to the way we move and to the thoughts that presently dominate our human spirit. Let us imagine our mind to be the surface of a lake, whipped up by a furious storm. Let us then imagine how the wind suddenly abates and the waves subside until the lake is calm and smooth as glass. In such a way, by using such thought associations, we can also soothe our mind. Strain and inner rest, lessness dissolve. We should pay the greatest attention, especially to the consciousness of our nerves. This tree of life in a person is decisive for health or illness. If we are nervous, either our nerves are overtaxed or an earlier cause exists, which may also be karmic in nature. With nervous tension or restlessness, despite our healing feelings and thoughts, the power of Christ cannot be brought to flow more strongly, since it can stream into our bodies only through a relaxed nerve consciousness. Therefore, every kind of tension is bad, no matter where it comes from, whether with wrong thoughts or with stress. If our nervous system is in disharmony, then according to the divine will, it is not possible for the eternal, harmonious, and harmonizing power to bestow help, relief, and healing on us. If a person now wants to turn to the powers of the Spirit and give them predominance in his life, it is important to know that this cannot take place overnight. Neither the soul nor the person can free themselves of old, deeply rooted and imprinted conceptions and habits in a short time. Every individual must recognize his responsibility and begin with himself. If a person wants to live in a healthy way, he has to see and experience God in all things. The person has to apply the cosmic laws of selfless love, of peace and harmony. He has to see the pure, the beauty, the good, and noble in all life forms, and have respect for all life. The person should not only talk about life, about God, saying this or that must be done to attain a better world. Each one is called to begin with himself. If the person learns to change his way of thinking, to think and live in a lawful way, he will raise his radiation. He will fashion his life in a divine way. He will cease to think in a negative and destructive way, thus expanding on it, but will keep peace with his neighbor, with the earth, and the nature kingdoms. Peace can come only from the person himself, from each one, if he strives to think and live selflessly, and to have respect for life. Every person has a determining effect, not only on his own life and that of his fellow people, but also on the earth and on everything the earth brings forth. Thus, everyone is responsible for himself, for his thoughts and actions. This does not mean that my neighbor should change, or that church and state have to change. Each one has to change himself. Only then will we radiate positive and uplifting powers, and, in community with many like-minded people, positively affect our fellow human beings who still stand in the shadow of materialistic thinking. In this way, we will also affect the earth, of which we are a part. Jesus said, "Whatever you have done to the least of my brothers, you have done to me." God is everything in all things. Therefore, whatever we inflict on our neighbor or on the kingdoms of nature falls back on us. If we want the vibration of the structure of our soul and body to be raised, we also have to let ourselves be raised by changing our mindset. If we feel, think, speak, and act positively, if we begin to lead a selfless life, to respect our neighbor, to love them and do good for them, to cherish the life on earth and in the nature kingdoms, then, with the help of the power of Christ, we will become refined in our vibration and be raised ourselves. We are the children of God. We have in us the source of strength and health. We must banish negative thoughts from our consciousness. He image of illness, problems, fear, worries, and need has to disappear from our thoughts. We should put all our efforts into no longer regarding these human aspects, like illness, for example, as something that needs to be cured. In our thoughts and beliefs, we imagine that illness and other evils do not exist. Instead of being fixated on illness, worries, difficulties, problems, and the like, we affirm health, joy, harmony, contentment, and happiness. Regardless of the way things may appear, regardless of how bad an illness or infection seems to be, we should take time to meditate on the perfect power of God, on the fine radiation, the reality that lies behind the shadows of illness, pain, need, and worry. By doing this, we attain a higher vibration, a finer radiation. The symptoms of illness will then change according to this vibration. According to his true being, each one of us is a bearer of the divine life, a child of the All-Highest. By origin, we are divine. The fullness of our true being is health, peace, and happiness. Let us meditate on the following words. We are children of God who have the entire fullness of infinity, health, peace, and happiness. Thus we should turn to God, the eternal power and fullness. We should not talk about our illnesses and blows of fate. Nor may there be any hatred in our life. Our neighbor should be both a friend and brother to us. We have to eliminate every anxious emotion. Then we attain a state of peace. In peace, both soul and person are healed. Just as material bodies are subject to the laws of gravity when they fall, so does the law of attraction apply to our world of thoughts. Let us clearly realize that illness is nothing more than the manifestation of our thoughts. What we attract through our thoughts falls right into us, as it were, since the same or similar things are present in us. As the saying goes, like attracts like. We have to change our thinking. The affirmation of our true being promotes recovery. Spiritual healing is a process of liberation from the evils that we have caused ourselves. We should become aware of the following and program ourselves accordingly. God, our Lord, created no illness. Therefore, illness does not exist in His reality, so we should never think that we are ill. Let us let go of the feeling of illness and think of health. Our cell consciousness will then awaken and give us abundant strength and peace. We must learn to completely change our way of thinking and orient our feelings and thoughts toward the laws of life. Then we arrive at the truth, at God and Christ, who makes us free. We have to turn our thoughts away from the malady that plagues us, in our thoughts or in our body, and strive to have affirmative and uplifting thoughts that promote health. Let us think thoughts of health. If we recognize and acknowledge that God is our life, then nothing but God can exist. Therefore, let us allow God to manifest Himself in us by affirming the divine. Negative thought complexes will recede, and it will be brighter, more harmonious and friendly in us. Illness is an evil. God did not create evils. That is why they do not exist. Even if they exist externally, in the material world, they have no real existence in God, in our true being. True prayer bears fulfillment in itself. Prayer is the direct expression of the connection with God. However, our prayer thoughts have special power only if we actualize in daily life what we are praying for. If I ask for health, I have to make the effort in my life to think thoughts of health and not of illness into myself, thus preparing myself for the healing waves. If in prayer I ask for peace and harmony, I have to try to see the good in my neighbor and to affirm their positive qualities. Whatever I send out comes back to me. If I wish my neighbors peace and harmony and see them in the light of the divine, that is positively, then what I have sent out, peace and harmony, will come back to me. I become whatever I have asked for in prayer. If I want to be loved, then I must first strive to love my fellow people. Just as I am, I emit. Just as I emit, it comes back to me as an echo. That is why we have to change our way of thinking. The right prayer always goes hand in hand with living in the right way. It bears within the fulfillment of our life and is of the greatest significance to us human beings. To pray in the right way means to live in the right way. To pray in the right way means to fulfill God's laws, to forgive and love our neighbor, and to send good, positive, and loving thoughts even to our implacable enemy. That is the prayer that is lived. It finds its way into our inner being and opens our consciousness to the healing waves of Christ. Those who are able to pray from the heart in this way and ask God for strength and help will also receive. God alone knows what is good for the salvation of our soul. Only the good seed yields a good harvest. Love is the highest power and our true nature. The one who sows love will reap love. This is a law of the Spirit. Whatever we send out, we will receive. However, love does not have to be like a mild, whispering breeze. It can also be the seriousness with which we say what is necessary according to the law. Love is clarification. Love is when our feelings, thoughts, and words are selfless. That is love. Thus, what we send out will fall back on us. It will take root in us and affect us accordingly. This is why we need to live a pure and selfless life, to be able to receive healing powers. Love is the highest power in the cosmos. Love is our true nature. May every one of us again attain this highest cosmic power, the love, so that we can contribute to the prosperity and progress of humankind and of the individual human soul. This is what I wish with all my heart for my fellow people. Greetings in God. Gabriele.